You face Shakur Stevenson. He's fighting Teofimo. You mentioned both of them. Who's winning this fight?
Yeah, I fought Shakur, and he's a hard guy to hit. Yeah. You know, it looks very simple, but it's not.
But it was good, Roy. It was good, Dre. I've been feeling good. I've been sharp. I've been focused. Training camp going well. So now we just wait on the day. I'm ready, and I'm definitely coming to shock the world.
When you look at Shakur Stevenson from the outside, it's easy to get the wrong impression. You see a fighter who moves backward. You see a guy who prefers to tap you with a jab rather than take your head off. To the casual fan, and maybe even to some opponents, it looks safe. It looks manageable. It looks boring. But that boredom is a trap. It is a carefully constructed mirage designed to lure aggressive fighters into a nightmare they can't wake up from until the final bell rings.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
What is it about him? Because I know he have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing. He want to fight the best they got out there. I believe his contract is coming to an end, so hopefully we can come together and I can take him to that next level.
Teofimo Lopez is walking into Madison Square Garden on January 31st with the confidence of a man who believes he can shatter that glass house. He sees a runner. He sees a fighter who lacks the firepower to keep him off. But there is one man who knows the truth better than anyone else. Oscar Valdez didn't just watch Shakur Stevenson on TV. He lived through 12 rounds of hopelessness inside the ring with him. And now Valdez is sending a chilling warning to his friend Teofimo. Do not believe your eyes, because what looks simple from the outside is impossible from the inside.
In this fight.
Yeah, I fought Shakur, and he's a hard guy to hit. Yeah. You know, it looks very simple, but it's not. But I've seen Teofimo train before. He's a complete athlete. So if I'm being very honest, man, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a stay away bet for me. I wouldn't bet either or, because you never know what's gonna happen on that chess game, because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a chess game inside that ring.
So Oscar Valdez is not a man who gets rattled easily. He's a warrior who has been in wars, broken jaws, and traded leather with the best. But when he talks about Shakur Stevenson, his tone changes. It's not fear, it's frustration. In a recent interview, Valdez offered a very specific technical warning to Teofimo Lopez. He said, "It looks very simple, but it's not. This is the core of the danger." Valdez explained that when you watch tapes of Shakur, you see openings. You think, I can land that right hand. I can cut off the ring. But the moment the bell rings, the distance changes. Valdez described it as a feeling of constantly being just 1 inch too short. Shakur has this uncanny ability to control the range so perfectly that he feels miles away even when he's standing right in front of you.
You know, people think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass,
or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, or you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. Mm-hmm. He's boxer first. Mm-hmm. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. Or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I can punch. Mm-hmm. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down, or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's two big things where they don't understand enough.
Valdez is warning Teofimo that the openings he thinks he sees are actually bait. Shakur dangles a target to make you commit, and the second you throw your punch, the target vanishes and you're getting countered with 3 shots before you can reset your feet. It's a ghost story in the form of a boxing match. And Valdez is trying to tell Teo that you can't knock out a ghost. Usually, when a fighter is asked to pick a winner between a friend and a rival, they back their friend. Loyalty is currency in this sport. But Valdez didn't do that. When pressed to pick a winner between Teofimo and Shakur, he hesitated. He called it a stay-away bet. He called it a chess game.
If I'm being very honest, man, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a stay-away bet for me. I wouldn't bet either or because you never know what's gonna happen on that chess game because that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be it's gonna be a chess game inside that ring.
So whoever wins this fight, who should they fight next? Somebody at 140? Should Shakur stay there? You think he stays there and facing somebody there?
You know, Shakur's he's big for that division. He's coming from 126, but I can easily see him go to 147 and still give it people some problems. So Shakur's a tough one.
Think about what that implies. Valdez knows Teofimo has the takeover energy. He knows Teo has that one-punch power that can flip a fight in a split second. But he also knows that power is useless if you can't find the target. He views this fight as a clash between chaos and order.
Style-wise, is this going to be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, you know, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite. They will make, you know, for electricity. I don't know if they will. But I'll tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, you know, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science. I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Cepeda, you know, being elusive while being aggressive. You know, walking them down, fighting on the inside, you know, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there, ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight, and it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur. Well, they saw it. Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
If Teofimo can turn this into a brawl, he wins. But Valdez knows that Shakur's discipline is almost robotic. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't get emotional. And that's why Valdez calls it a 50-50 fight. He knows that Teofimo is walking a tightrope. One slip, one moment of frustration, and Shakur will dissect him piece by piece for 12 agonizing rounds. It's the uncertainty that keeps Valdez from placing a bet even on his own friend.
You said a couple of times now you see some holes in Teofimo's game. I know you don't want to give away your game plan at the kickoff press conference, but where are the weaknesses? Where are some of the weaknesses in his game?
A lot of the weaknesses is in his mental. I think it's more mental than anything again. I'm going to expose it.
While Valdez was respectful with his warning, Keshin Davis decided to take the gloves off. The beef between Keshin and Teofimo has been simmering for a while, with Teo dismissing Davis as just a young kid trying to gain clout. But the response from Keshin was anything but playful. He issued a warning that was less about strategy and more about survival. Keshin explicitly warned that if Teofimo tries to bully Shakur, he's going to get slapped. The narrative has always been that Shakur is a safety-first boxer. But Keshin flips that script. He predicts that Shakur will start the fight slowly, downloading the data and reading the movements. But the moment Teofimo gets frustrated, the moment he tries to force his will and pick it up, he's going to walk into something dangerous.
I see it playing out, let's say, I see it starting off slow.
Okay.
And then I see as Shakur wins the first round, as Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then it's just gonna go from there. That's how I think it's gonna go.
That's a fair assessment.
That's a fair one.
Especially for that to be his brother.
I think it's gonna be close. I think it'll be closer than people think.
I think it's
very
good.
Hey, one thing I can say though, because I've been seeing we've been amateur together and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Teo can fight.
I'm telling you that. Teo can fight.
Winning back
If
then.
you said he couldn't, you'd be lying.
Right. That's a real assessment, though. I think Shakur still wins, but it's gonna be closer than what people think.
Teo is
nice.
a lot, man, no doubt.
Yeah, and Keyshawn, speaking of Teo, you've been vocal about your desire to fight Teofimo Lopez. And of course, I was there in Las Vegas, right, when you FaceTime Teo. Now Teo's fighting Shakur Stevenson. But do we see Keyshawn and Teo at some point?
How was Teo acting when I FaceTimed him? Since you brought it up, how was he acting?
You tell me. You tell the people.
Why do I gotta tell you?
You gotta tell him anyway.
Right.
How was he acting?
Yeah, how's he acting?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is he was not motivated.
Right.
He kept saying he wanted
Hey,
boots.
but look,
He kept saying he wanted boots.
What you asked me again? Because I want to answer that. What'd you say?
Do we see you and Teo fight in the future?
Oh, depending on what Shakur do with him.
Hey, losing to Shakur, though, that can't be a death sentence, right? We can still see Teo
It
back.
depends how bad he loses.
I was about to
So
say.
you think it's going to be bad?
Let's say he loses a competitive fight.
Yeah,
I think that would be the most common answer is Shakur outpoints him in a very competitive fight.
Beats him.
What then? What then for you and Teo?
For the businessman, huh?
All right, cool. Okay, since you worded it like that, I don't, because I won't go say that shit.
This is a crucial point that people overlook. Shakur isn't just defensive. He's accurate. Keshin is suggesting that Teofimo's aggression is exactly what Shakur wants. Teo thinks he's the hunter, but if he rushes in without a plan, he's going to find out that he's actually the prey. So, is Teofimo Lopez actually crazy? We've seen the bizarre press conferences, the erratic interviews, and the disrespect. It's easy to write him off as mentally unstable, but there might be a method to the madness. Some analysts believe that Teofimo is doing this on purpose. He knows he cannot beat Shakur Stevenson in a technical boxing match. If they stand in the center of the ring and trade jabs, Shakur wins 10 times out of 10.